Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies strengthening your business while offering your talents to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hello, hello, hello. We're so excited.
Hi.
It's another Marketing Masterclass. It must be Tuesday. I love this. And a big shout out to all our fans out there. I know we've got people watching from the Giver Marketing Network, on our friends, and we've got our friends over at Kingdom Warriors. And we are ready to just share some love today and let you know what's going on in the marketing world. And I'm excited because today our specialist is Joel. Joel, say your last name for me because I know I'm going to butcher it.
Thiessen.
Thiessen. It looks like it's more complicated than that. And I keep wanting to roll it off my tongue, but I am horrible with names. I'll be the first one to say it.
No worries.
But I'm so excited to have you here, Joel, because Joel is our resident expert. When I think customer service, I think Joel. I'm just saying that's the first thing that comes to my mind. So I'm really excited about what you're going to share with our listeners and our viewers today, because this is going to be fun. Now, Joel, your background, how did you get to where you are? Tell us a little bit about your origin story.
So our story at Legacy, we kind of fell into this by accident. So when COVID hit, I was doing door to door looking for donations for a children's hospital in Toronto in Canada. And when COVID hit, no one likes to door-to-door people when there's a plague. So kind of ended that real quick. And so I ended up working at a homeless shelter, and they threw me into their customer service donations department. And so I did that for about 4 months. And that was my first foray into a call center atmosphere. After about 15 plus years of customer service, it was just like a whole new, let's pull the next layer off the onion and learn something more. And so I did this for about 4 months because it was a contract position. And when it ended, I started looking for work again. And my now business partner interviewed me for a position at her company. And she actually interviewed me as someone who would just answer the phones. That was all my responsibility was going to be. And what they did was it was really, really cool, because what they do is they were like, we've had so many people just kind of up and leave. We're just going to make you sit and listen to phone calls for 2 days. And if you can get through that, we know you've got the wherewithal to actually do the job. And so she was like, just listen to phone calls for 2 days, and then we'll see what you think. And so after 2 days, she met with me, and she was like, so what do you think? And I'm like, if you change this, and this, you could probably save yourself $10,000 to $20,000 in your call center. And she was like, and she was kind of curious. She was like, okay, do you know what? Because I don't have a reputation for efficiency or management or anything like that. And she was like, okay, do you know what? We'll give you a short leash, but let's see how you do an implementation. And I ended up saving them $220,000 in that first year. And so obviously, once they started seeing the savings rack up, once I hit that $20,000 that I had promised in the first month, because I was expecting that to be the whole year. Anyways, once I fixed that, they were like, we're going to give you a little bit of a longer leash and just keep doing what you're doing. And then about a year and a half ago, they came back to me and was like, hey, Joel, that magic you did when you came, can you do it again? We need to save a little bit more money. And so I asked them to give me their contracts for anything that had to do with customer service. And because I spent 3 years working in law firms, like I have an idea of what it looks like. I can't give legal advice, but I can look at contracts and see, oh, hey, there's a loophole around this. And so I ended up saving another $4,600 a month. But the caveat was they had to outsource their call center. And so they were like, well, we don't want to own like a shell company and outsource the call center. So they looked at my boss at the time and said, okay, Janine, you run the call center. You own a call center now. And Janine's like, oh, I don't want to run a call center. Joel, you're a partner now. And so we literally fell into this whole business just completely by accident.
Accidental entrepreneurship, right? That anybody else run into that situation? If you were an accidental entrepreneur, put that in the chat. Let us know if that was you, because I was the same way, Joel. I hear you. You know, I didn't see a job that described what I wanted to do. I made my own, right?
Exactly.
That's how people end up in their own businesses a lot of times, right? So if that's something that resonates with you, right? Put that in the chat. You're not alone.
What I would love for you to put in the chat is just put like a short little bit about this is what I was doing and then I fell into doing this, because I would love to know more about your story.
Oh, absolutely. Right. And we all have different stories. I love your background on that. And one of the cool things that you mentioned, and this is another one y'all might want to put in chat so you remember, is the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
The numbers don't lie. A lot of times, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, I don't feel like doing that. Oh, that's a lot of work. Look at your numbers.
Yeah.
Right? That's a great illustration. Your story is perfect for that, because the numbers don't lie. Pay attention to your numbers. You can do marketing and things that feel good, but until you look at your numbers to really know how those results are coming through, right? You gotta track it.
Yeah. And if you can't track it, generally you're not being given what you were told you're being given, as a general rule. So it's all about tracking the numbers and really taking a look at the analytics. Because if the analytics are saying one thing and everyone else is saying another thing, you probably can't trust everyone else, because the numbers don't lie.
Right, but the people will.
But the people might. I used to watch this show.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Every time. That's right. I love it, Joel. So we've got some exciting topics going on today. I know you're going to give some little nuggets of wisdom that you're going to share with our people here. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are we hitting today? Do you want me to bring up the slides, or? So
we've got some slides. We can pull it up in a second or two here. But what we're talking today, we're going to talk about building a reputation of trust. I love listening to people talk and like self-help people. And there's this one person that I listened to, and he said this thing that's always stuck with me, is that in a business, you can be an expert on three things. You can have top-notch quality product, you can have top-notch customer service, and you can be an inexpensive option. You can do two of the three, but if you do all three, you'll go bankrupt. And so what this did is it talks about what your reputation is, because those are all three things that really are about your reputation. Because if your reputation is good, your clients are gonna be like, hey, you know what? Go to Christine. I was here, and then the numbers again, and then she brought me up to here, and you have to go see her because she's gonna just boost you up like that. And if your reputation is a reputation of trust and quality, you're gonna have people recommending you all over the place. And if you do it really well, you're going to end up having almost a cult following. If you guys know what this is.
Yes. The number one cult following.
What is the reputation of an iPhone? It's quality. It's that it runs together with all of their stuff. It's that if you have a problem, you can go to their customer support and it's going to be world class. And it's that all of your friends have it. So if you don't have it, you're going to get that green little bubble instead of the blue one. Like their reputation precedes them. So everybody's like, you want a phone? So when are you getting your new iPhone? And it's weird when someone says, oh, I'm getting an Android. It's like, why?
You can't be part of the in club. You're not part of the in club if you don't have this kind of phone. It's kind of scary.
Exactly. And that's all built on reputation.
Very much. Yeah, I would have to say for branding and reputation, they're pretty top notch. Well, so you mentioned three different things. One more time, Joel. What were the three things? You can't have all of them, but you can have 2 out of 3.
So you can have a quality product, you can have great quality customer service, and you can have an inexpensive. You can be inexpensive, but you can't have all three.
There it is. So remember that. Pick your top two. Which ones are important to you?
Exactly. I'm seeing a comment here where there's some Android users in the audience already. And so I'm like, do you know what? I love Androids. The reason why I have an iPhone is actually because I was in a group chat when they couldn't all go together, and I had a hard time putting it together. So I just got an iPhone just to be with the crowd. Sucks, but that's why I got an iPhone.
Gotta be part of the in crowd. Okay, I hear you. I'm a late convert. I only converted a couple of years ago, and the whole idea of replacing your phone every year, where did that come from? Okay, but you're going to get me down a rabbit hole, and we're not going there. We're staying on topic today, Joel, and I'm really excited about your topic. So let's pull it on in, and let's grab your slides. Here we go.
Perfect.
Right.
So one of the great things about the Giver Marketing Network is we're fantastic marketers. We are fantastic at marketing. And most of us are great at sales. And what I want to do is I want to show you some steps that you can take so that you don't have to actually do all of your marketing and all of your sales, but you can get other people to do that for you. Let your customers do your marketing and your sales for you, so that when you get on the phone, it's like, oh no, Christine told me about you. I want you. And you're like, all right, let's just get going. Let's book an onboarding call. This is the easiest sale ever. And so that's kind of what we want to talk about today. And so I'm going to talk about a few different areas. The first one is we're going to talk about what reputation is and how to build a reputation and how to easily destroy your reputation. Okay? Because if you don't know what your reputation is, it's going to be destroyed. That's just basically all there is to know about it. The second thing we're going to talk about is the reputation of your products. And the third thing we're going to talk about is the reputation of your company. All right? So let's get going. So the first one is, what is your current reputation? So there's a company. I brought up this graph here because I thought it was really telling. So this is the beer sales in the USA for 2022. All right, and you guys all probably know where I'm going with this. Bud Light. So Bud Light was doubling any other American beer company in sales for 2022. Absolutely destroying them. They were number one in the country, and their reputation, nobody, like when you went to a bar, if they didn't have Bud Light on tap, there was a problem. You're like, what is wrong with you guys? Right? So what ended up happening is they didn't know what their reputation is, because your reputation is how your customers think about you. That's what your reputation is. And you've got two options. Once you know your reputation, there's two options. You can either build it and support it, or you can crash it and burn it. And sometimes crashing and burning is a good thing, but in this case, it's not. Okay. So their audience was more of a conservative audience. That was their reputation, was more of the pardon the term, but more of a hillbilly redneck. That was their reputation. And those people are generally conservative. So when they went out, and I'm going to go to the next slide here, and they got the Dylan Mulvaney controversy, when they started that, look at their sales drop. They dropped 21% in 3 months. And if you track it, that 21% went to Coors Light and Miller Lite. And you can actually look at the skyrocket in their sales based on the dying of Bud Light sales. Now, why did this happen? Their reputation was how their clients thought about them. And instead of saying, hey, we've got a current audience that's fantastic, we've got a great reputation with them, we're going to go this other direction, and we're going to try and get this new audience that doesn't have the same values. And if you're going after an audience that doesn't have the same values, you need to be very careful, because you might actually alienate the audience that you already have. And so this graph, and that's why I wanted to bring this up, is because reputation is important.
That's a great point. So make sure you make a note in the chat. That's a great place to keep track of your notes and say something about that. So, finding a new audience, don't alienate your current audience.
Exactly.
We would think that was a no-brainer, but obviously it's a great example.
Yeah, exactly. There was a study in that by, I believe it was Pipsley or something like that. And what they said is that 58% of consumers say brand activism has impacted purchasing behavior or brand impressions. And I believe most of those are probably Bud Light users, is my opinion. I don't know. I can't guarantee that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
It can have a negative or a positive impact depending on what's going on and how you've built the culture, right? And we've
Yeah,
seen
absolutely.
controversies as brands have kind of shifted their what appears to be their values over time. We've seen the issues with Disney, right? So there's some companies that have shifted and the audience is like, whoa, that's not how we see you. You've now disrupted our, how we look at you. So your reputation is kind of it's looking kind of shaky here, right?
The Hallmark Channel is another example of that. I don't want to go too far off, but I'm a film and television lover. And the Hallmark Channel lost a 53 million person audience because they started doing gay Hallmark movies. And there's nothing against that. But what I'm saying is their audience didn't like it. They had a reputation and they ruined the reputation of their audience. And now another production company has spurred it up and taken most of that audience. So anyways, that's just another
shifting
example.
Audiences. You got to be careful if you want to keep your audience, right? They have certain expectations.
Yeah, and a great thing is let's look at it from the Coors Light and Miller Lite standpoint. Bud Light lost the audience. Miller Lite and Coors Light were like, "Hey, opportunity," and they jumped in and grabbed the opportunity. So if you see someone alienating their audience, there's an opportunity for you to grab their audience with your current reputation. Just throwing that out there as well. So how can you tell what your reputation is? So I want to have a little bit of fun here because I pulled up something off of Google reviews that I wanted to have. So I figured we're the Giver Marketing Network. Let's look at what the Giver Marketing Network's reputation is.
Ooh, I like it.
So I didn't pull up the details, but there was 83. It's funny that in our Slack channel, there's about 83 to 85 people and there's 83 Google reviews, which means there's 2 people on our Slack channel that have not given a Google review. Just saying, I'm not pushing anyone, but I'm just saying you might want to do that. But we have a 5-star reputation. This is our reputation. And you always want to pay attention to what your reputation is. So how can you tell what your reputation is? Well, this one is Google reviews. Very simple. There's also Facebook reviews. You can go to the Better Business Bureau and they've got reviews. One of the things that you want to look at is take a look, and I would love you to put it in the chat. Where do you go when you're looking up a product to see whether it's a scam or to see how quality it is? Where do you go for your reviews? Put that in the chat for me because I would love to see where you are going. Like, where do you go? Because
there's a lot of choices now. Yeah,
like
Joel, you think about it. There's tons of different locations you go. I remember it used to be Yelp, but things have shifted and Google has been huge lately. Like you said, Facebook has a problem though, where they've got people that are doing spam on there. I don't know how many of you see the day trader stuff, but I'm always deleting crazy stuff, right?
We had reviews. So one of the companies I work with, they had reviews on their Facebook that was advertising a different customer service number so they could get scammed, so they could scam people. Yeah. So there is stuff like that out there. But the idea is if you go there for a review, chances are your customers and your clients are going there as well. So just keep that in mind. All right. So if you do not have a reputation, I threw up some of mine because I know we did this, is if you don't have a reputation, here's some tips or tricks to help you gain a reputation. The first one is, ask people. Ask people for reviews. It's simple. If you don't ask people for reviews, how are they going to know that you want it? And how do they know where you want it? So we went to the people that we've worked with throughout the clients that we've had. And we asked them and said, hey, first of all, we asked, do you like working with us? It was like, let's just verify that first. Let's make sure that they actually enjoy us. And then we said, would you be willing to put that in writing for us? And so we got about between 4 to 10 reviews. I can't remember exactly how many. And we put them on our website. First of all, we just put them right on our website because right now we're still working on our reputation. And so we put them straight on our website. One of our clients, on Google reviews, and I'm not going to tell you which one, they had a 2.3 star rating on Google reviews. Yeah, it was like, it wasn't that great. However, when we decided, we learned that we took their products and we could isolate, we knew approximately by how they acted, which customers were actually happy with us and which ones weren't. And we sent out a request for review to the clients. And we use email. There's a lot of reputation softwares out there. We found that email is one, the cheapest because we already have it. And 2, it's the best. And so we send out an email marketing campaign that said, hey, if you like us, review us, let us know what you think. And we brought it up from a 2.5 to a 4 in almost 2 months. So there's, when you ask, you'll get. It's one of those things you get not because you ask not. So start asking.
Put that in the chat. That's one of the notes there. Ask for a nice review.
Yeah.
Pretty simple and straightforward, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it gets first, and I'm going to give you a little warning when you do email, sometimes it's slow coming in, but it starts picking up as you ask. Just as a little word of wisdom there.
Well, and you don't want them all at once anyway, right? So it's better to have them over time. And we would say, well, why didn't all these people already put the reviews up there? Well, a lot of times people like to complain, but sometimes we're not as quick to compliment, right? So let's create an environment where we compliment people for doing good instead of ignoring it, right? Yeah. So if you've got a company out there that's done good work with you, that's been valuable, go give them a nice review. Be nice to them. Let's spread a little love around.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that our culture as is not so great at is, number one, we're very independent. We don't like asking for help. But with reputation, you can't get a reputation without asking for it. And very rarely do people want, like, for every one negative comment that you get, you have about 10 people who are happy with you. If you've got quality products and everything, like, let's just be fair. If you're scamming people, that's a different story. But you want the people who are happy to comment just as much as the people who are angry. But the angry people are more incentivized to comment because they're not happy.
Well, and how you choose to handle that, right, is also very specialized, and that's a whole nother topic too, right?
Absolutely, and we can go into that. I've got a lot of expertise going into that kind of stuff. However, that's not the topic we're talking about today. So I would love to just kind of keep moving here and talk about
absolutely, but that's a great topic for a follow-up masterclass. Just saying. Let's
talk about quality products, okay? Because if you don't have a great product, your reputation is not going to go very well, right? The first thing to look at when a client signs onto your company is, what exactly did you promise them? So when I worked in a bigger company, you had the sales and you had customer service. The sales would promise the moon and the customer service might give them a star, okay? And so we would do everything that we could to live up to the salespeople. But when the salespeople were just making stuff up, it was really, really hard, all right? And so if you're promising, like, if I go to Christine and I'm like, Christine, I need your help marketing. And she's like, do you know what? I can get you 10 meetings a month. And I'm like, fantastic. This is great. I need those 10 sales meetings. And after a month, I've got one. I might think twice about the quality of her service. But if I'm promising one thing and delivering on that one thing, I'm going to get a reputation of keeping my word, having a quality product, and doing exactly what I say I'm going to do.
Well, that phrase about, what is it? Under promise, over deliver. Is that kind of where we're at right now?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Sorry, continue. Okay. So Havas Media Groups did a study and it said 71% of consumers tire of empty promises. And it insinuates that the first thing that you have to do is just keep your promise, and you will be 71% better than the market. Just throwing that out there. So number one was keep your promises. The second, is it a high quality product? All right. I was talking to Oz. I don't even know how to say his last name, but I'm just going to call him Oz. He's probably going to come on later and ask questions. I was talking to Oz about a specific product. My wife is a painter and Oz is a painter, so I was kind of just talking to him about stuff. And he recommended a company to me, and he said, use this company. They have fantastic quality. And then he paused for a second and said, but they have really, really bad customer support. And I was like, you know what? This is a great example of, if you have a high quality product, you're building a reputation. But is it a mixed reputation? Or is your service matching your quality? Or did you drop the service and said, we just want to be cheap? All right. And because that's important. It's like, yes, that is a valid business model. But do you have a mixed reputation? The second one is, what extra value is being brought? Okay. So we're all marketers and we all value what each other bring to the table. It's one of the great things about the Giver Marketing Network is if I have a client that's looking for search engine optimization, I'm going to be like, there's Mark Hurd, go to him. He's really great at this. Or we're looking to wow our customers, go to Linda Balo. And it's like, these people are fantastic experts at what they do. And they really bring the quality of your company up and they help provide a reputation for your company. Like, people hire our customer service team at Legacy for amazing customer service. But people don't simply want us to answer phones. They want someone who acts like an employee. Somebody who does administrative work while they're waiting for a phone call, or someone who maybe can build them a website while they're doing a phone call. It's those, like, we're not selling that. That's not what we're selling when people come to us. We're selling customer service. And anything beyond that, great. If the person that we got, you also want someone who can do that kind of stuff, we can look for that, and then they can start doing other work for you. But the extra value is what brings the quality. I promise customer service. If I don't deliver on customer service, that's a problem. But if I deliver customer service as well as someone who can do make a website, that's the whole deal right in one. And so, what extra value are you giving?
Well, and think about it, right? We go through a lot of effort to bring in these clients, but then what are we doing to keep them?
Yeah.
Let's talk about customer service. There it is.
Let's talk about customer service. And I'm almost at the customer service, which is where I shine. So I can't wait to get there. I'm kind of like, let's go. And the last one is the price point of your product. For when it comes to quality product, if I'm buying a quality product, if I'm buying a 1969 Shelby Mustang, and I'm getting, which is the car goes for about $105,000. But if I buy it for $10,000, I'm getting a steal. I'm like, I paid, and this is a quality product for what I paid. But if I'm paying $750,000 for it, I'm going to be like, this is a terrible product. This is a bad product. It doesn't work. So your quality and your price point have to match. We were talking about iPhones versus Android earlier. So let's bring that up. The average sale of an iPhone is $988 worldwide. All right. The average sale of an iPhone is $988. The average sale of an Android is $261. So Apple has built a reputation that they can charge almost $1,000 a phone. Android does not have that reputation. Now you can still pay $1,000 for an Android phone. You can probably pay $1,500 for it. But if you actually want, just take a look at those sales, and it will. Joel Snyder just comments, I paid way over $1,000, which is if you're getting a good phone, you're okay paying that. But if you're not getting a good phone, you're going to be like, I paid way too much for this. So, all right. So now we get to go into the customer service, which is what I love. All right.
Go, Joel, go. It's all you. Go, bud.
I brought in this stat so that you understand that 91% of your customers with a bad experience will leave without saying anything. And so, which means that if you have one complaint online, that means you have 9 people who left without complaining. So keep that in mind if you're looking. And the one complaint is a gift. That one complaint is a gift that you get a chance to actually win your customers back. And if you are ignoring the gift, then you have no chance, and your reputation is going to go down the drain because they're just going to complain all over the internet or to their friends and family. And it's actually reverse reputation. It's a bad word of mouth. And that's what we don't want.
Right.
So HubSpot says 68% of companies are willing to pay more for products and services from a brand that offers good customer service experiences. Okay. And 93% of customers are more likely to make a repeat purchase for companies who offer excellent customer service. Now, when you're a small company, you can do it yourself. You love customer service. However, if you're a bigger company and you need to hire someone out, you need to know who you're looking for. So we put together, and so there was some more stats I wanted to go through about what it takes to bring good customer service. So there was 33% of people in this survey, and it was done by I can't remember where I got this from. I believe it was financesonline.com, I believe, but you'll have to forgive me because I neglected to write that in my notes. Anyways, 33% want good customer service, means you're friendly and knowledgeable agent. 32% means that when they call, it's resolved immediately on that call. 21% is not having to repeat themselves. So if you've got someone from India or the Philippines that can't understand English and they have to repeat themselves over and over and over and over, it will hurt your customer service score and your reputation. And then the 13 is if they don't have to contact customer service at all, that means it's great customer service, which I always thought was really, really funny. And then 1% didn't actually, 1% said something completely different, but those were the top 4. All right. So 1 and 2 are about how well your agents are trained. Number 3 is about who you hire. Number 4 is about fostering an online community. And number 5, well, you can't really tell that because it's the 1% who didn't tell us anything. So we can't really jump on that one. All right. So let's go into those kind of things. So the first one, let's talk about who you hire and some things to think about when you're hiring customer service agent, when you're big enough that you need to hire a customer service agent. The first one is, who is your agent going to be serving? Like, this is a big thing, because if I'm serving people that are between the ages of 20 and 40, you know, I can have someone with an accent. But if I've got people who are in the ages of 50 to 80, they have a lot harder time understanding accents. So you have to get someone who either doesn't have an accent, but most of the time people go American when that's their clientele. All right. Are they comfortable in stressful situations? When you interview them, are they super nervous? And are they not really making sense in that situation? Does the agent have an accent? We talked about that already. But the thing is, can you understand them clearly? If you can understand them clearly, generally your people can too. Are they teachable? Because if you're going to teach them a new company, you need to, like, they need to not try and go gunslinger all on their own, figure things out. Even the Lone Ranger had people beside them. So we work as a team, and if they're not teachable, they actually can't be part of your team. What are their goals? Now, this is a big one, and a lot of people overlook this. This is a big one. If your people don't have goals, like we had someone we were going to hire, and when they sounded really, really good in all aspects, but we asked them, what are your passions? What are your goals? And they were like, oh, I just need to get a paycheck. And I was like, yeah, we're not hiring you, because chances are you're going to leave in a month or 2 when you get a better job, because you're going to know customer service isn't all fun and games. It's hard work. And we need someone who's going to last. We're not going to spend the money training someone. And so make sure that they have goals, that they have passions, that they're going after something. Some of our people are like, I just want to buy a house. And we know the housing market right now is bad here, but it's also bad all over the world. And they're like, I just want to buy a house, and it's going to take me 15 years to be able to buy a house. And we're like, okay, do you know what? We can actually help you with that. Let's work together and try and get you your house. And the last one I want to say is, you cannot guarantee 100% that someone will work out. Okay. You can hire someone, they've got all the good signs, but you can't guarantee. And if someone's going to guarantee you, hey, do you know what? 100% this person is going to work. Chances are they're selling you something that's not legit. All right. So unless, of course, they have the people on staff already and they're going to move them over to your account. But if they're hiring people and they've got a pool that they're hiring from and they guarantee that they're going to work out, you know, I've had friends I recommended and they haven't worked out. People I knew personally. Sometimes it's just opposite personalities that just kind of don't work together.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not a good fit, and that happens, right? Because personality types, and that's a great list you've got going there about thinking about, you know, who are you hiring and what are they going to do? Is it a good fit?
Absolutely. But what we do learn is that the more you hire people, the better chance you are of getting the right person. You'll start seeing the things here and there. And that's that's one of the things that I love about my partner is she's got 30 plus years of customer service experience and 20 plus years in a call center in management and hiring experience. And it's like, do you know what? I get to make mistakes because she fixes them. Like anyone that we hire.
Best partnership out there, right?
Yeah, it's the best partnership, because I if you heard the story at the beginning, I'm fairly new, as in like 2.5 years into this game. My partner, I make mistakes. I go out and I'll hire people, but I don't hire people for anyone without her approval, because she has so much experience. And it's like, if you're going to do something, staff your weaknesses. My partner staffs my weakness perfectly. Anyways, sorry, that's a whole, I could go.
That's a great point though, right? Hire somebody to fill in the holes that you can't fill yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So your hires are important. Next is to set up your customer service agents for success. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we create a customer service manual. So this has details about your company and product, visions of your, like the vision statement for your company, the kind of clientele you're going after, mission statement, core values. All of this stuff tells your agent what you value and how to interact with their customer. Mm-hmm. Because if they're coming in and you're hiring someone, they need to have some sort of basis that says, okay, what is it that these people value? And I want to give them that. And so you need, if you're going to set your customer service up for success and really build your reputation, you need to have a customer service manual that you can bring people in with. It will also tell them your offers, your deals, subscriptions, a fact sheet, like how to get a hold of the company, phone number, address, bios, email address, etc. Okay. And one last thing that a customer service, and I brought an example for this, is a detailed to-do for your, and I brought this in because this is a really detailed, we built this for one of our clients. And they basically, it's like if someone comes in off of the street and they have the programs, they can do the job. At the very least, they can do the job. And if they're friendly and great, that's like one step. We can continue to coach them to be better, but that's one step. When you hire someone, we have this. I'll just continue. But it's a detailed how-to for your company.
You know, Joel, I want to jump in and interrupt just because I can. Story. All right. Story time. Got to have stories. Right. Yeah. So I'm in New York for the first time and I go in. I'm like, hey, do you have a restroom I can use? And the gal's stocking shelves and she goes, over there. And she just keeps stocking shelves. I was like, oh, so excited. I'm like, this is a true New York moment. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I'm telling the story, right? And my poor honey is just shaking his head going, you know, but you know, in Texas, it'd be like, oh, well, it's over. You know what, honey, why don't I just take you there? And they'll walk you there, right? Different on approach. What are the values? What are the expectations? What's your clientele expecting? What's that say about your culture, right? Yeah. And there it is right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We had one girl that we hired. We weren't sure if she was going to work out because we don't like, sometimes we take risks on people because we believe that everybody deserves a chance. And if we will take a risk and put them on a low risk account to see how they work out before we move them on. It's one of those things that we do to guarantee that people have. Anyways, this girl, she was from South Africa. That's where it was. She was from Africa. And she had this really heavy accent and people were having a hard time understanding her. But she was so driven and so determined that she actually learned a Texas accent so that people could understand her. Now, for a few weeks, we had a Texas Nigerian accent, which was like, oh, we need to get over that. But once she figured it out and once she got it, now people love her for that first couple of weeks. And so we took that chance on her and she is paying off in spades because sometimes it's the people that you take a chance on. Anyways, it's like experience. People you take a chance on know who to take a chance on and who not to. And sometimes they'll work out, sometimes not so much. We had this one guy. I'm sorry, I'm just getting this story time. We had this one guy that we hired, and we were like, okay. And this was like one of my first hires. And Janine was like, okay, if you want to give it a shot, go for it. And I learned then that I need to start trusting Janine more. But what ended up happening is the person started getting mad at clients and started yelling at clients over the phone. And I was like, nope, done, gone, bye, you're out. And it was just literally get them out, get someone new in there. That was so much better. But I learned my lesson. That was like, there's some things on personality you cannot give. It's just a no. It's a flat out no. Anyway, sorry. I can tell stories all day. The next thing you need to know when you're setting up your agents for success is scripts. Now you need two versions. You need a word for word form and a point form. Now, and so when you have these word for word, it's like when people are starting, they need to know the wording that you use so that they can bring across the same wording. But the point form is you want your customer service agents to be able to have conversation with people. And so if they have conversation, they need to be able to bring the main points of your scripts out in conversation. And what it does is it creates a rapport with the clients. It creates a reputation with your clients that says, hey, I'm on your side. This is just some information that you might need to know. do you know what? I can definitely help you out with this. Let's keep doing this. And so both of those, most people just have a word for word, but you need both. So, and then email templates. You just really need a base set because they're going to get edited anyways. They're going to get copied and pasted into an email and edited, but you do need those. So training is a big thing. So you can hire a good agent and train them to be a great agent. But if you hire a great agent, you can't train them to be a generational agent. I use hockey terms. You have generational talents. You've got great hockey players. So you can hire a good agent and make them a great agent. You can hire a great agent, make them a generational, legendary agent. But if you just hire someone and don't walk them and don't continue to train them, it's kind of a useless thing. It's like you're dooming them for failure. And so it's have those touch points with your agents. Product training, or walk them through expectations. First day we do is we walk them through everything that's expected of them, and then we don't change it. We make sure that it's like, hey, this is what we're expecting of you, and we're not going to change this throughout your employment. You may go on different accounts, but this is your expectation. Okay. Then product training, you need to let the agents know what they're dealing with. Like, who are they working with? What do you promise your clients? Like, if your agents don't know what the expectations that your clients have, they can't do proper customer service. What is your company culture and preferences? Again, this is in your manual. And then the last one is continuous training on many different things. If I'm serving a company in Russia, and I'm using that as an example because it's really far culturally from us. If I'm hiring a person to do customer service in Russia, I need to get someone who can train them on Russian culture. Because if I use like little sayings that we have in English, if in North America, we've got a lot of sayings that don't make sense to people. And if you really want to know which ones they are, hire someone from a different culture. And like a culture, like not every culture has credit cards. Let's just put that out there. So if you're hiring someone from certain cultures, you have to explain to them what a credit card is and how credit cards work. What is the difference between a pending charge and a posted charge? Like, this is all stuff that if you're not careful, you're going to get someone who doesn't know anything. And you have
absolutely. Cultural differences, right? I had a customer service person call me dear the other day. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Like we work with some people in the Philippines, and we can tell right away when they don't know the Canadian North American culture, because they'll call you sir. Sir Joel, can we do this? Sir Joel, can we do that? Sir Joel. And it's like, whoa. First of all, drop the sir. In North America, we don't use sir, ma'am. It would probably be good for us if we did, but we don't use those. And it's like, how does it work? So these are different areas that we train people in: culture, English, your company, customer service, because even the best agents, you want them to get better day after day. Life skills, because if they're happy in their life, they're going to be a happier agent, and your clients are going to be happier, and it will build your reputation more. And last is their legacy. If you are interested in people and you're interested in helping them build their own legacy, helping them provide for their kids, if they're happy people, they will be better employees and they will build a better reputation. And that's one of the reasons why we are Legacy Innovative, is because we're about building legacy, not just ours. We have this term that we use in our company. It's building customer service, building businesses, building people, building the world. Because at the core of it, it's people. We're all people. And if you take an interest in your agents, then they will be with you forever. Anyway, sorry, I could go on in that, because that's where our hearts are.
That's
really
where your passion is. And I love that. That's awesome, Joel. Well, let's bring this plane down. Let's land this plane and bring our team in for comments. Do you have anything else you want to share before we bring them in?
Just one more thing, one more slide, and then I'll get to the contact information. Like the last one is your company culture. How do you value your clients? What are your core values, and how high are your standards? Because if the agents you bring in will never reach a higher standard than you do. So if your standard is low customer service, even if you come to us, we can boost your customer service. But the more interaction you have with the agents, the more they will match your standard of customer service. Mm-hmm. So if as a leader, you have to lead. That's it. And then, so just in going through the reputation, if you want to build a reputation of trust, you need to build a reputation that you care. You need service that's worth using, and you need customer service that's best in class, and you will build your reputation you'll build your reputation. So what we want to do is we want to give you, we're going to have my email on the screen here. If you want to email me, I'm open to emails from anyone if you have any questions or anything. But also, if you want, we want to walk you through, we have templates for our customer service manual, and we can walk you through what a customer service manual looks like step by step. And we would love to do that for you if you give us the opportunity. And so email me if you want to take a look at what that looks like. I gave you an example, but it's a 7-page document that has a whole bunch of different things that might help you out. All right. And lastly, if you want a meeting with me, scan the QR code. That'll take you to my Calendly. You can book a meeting with me. It's my information there.
Awesome. So you're offering us a free talk about customer service. So if you're thinking, I don't have any customer service systems in place, might not be bad to have a conversation, right? We don't put as much energy into it as we probably should.
Even if you're just building something now for the future, it's nice to have that in place, because when you need customer service, you're generally urgently need it. Very rarely are you like, man, I need customer service. I'm going to start thinking about that for 3 months from now. It's like, no, I need customer service. I'm overwhelmed with my customer concerns. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Get it off my plate. And that's when you need it. So if you start thinking about it now, by the time you get to that point, then you're ready to go.
Right. You already had those systems in place. Don't wait until it's emergency, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, so let's bring the team in. Thank you so much, Joel. I'm sure we've got some questions for you. And where'd everybody go? There we go. Hi, guys. Welcome. Another Joel.
David and Joel.
Oz here. So, Oz, we were asking earlier about how to pronounce your last name. You better just say it.
Oz.
Problem solved, right?
Love it. Love it.
Why do you think that came up with Oz? Because people's eyes crossed. I had people having aneurysms looking at my last name. I have a lot of friends from India, and their names are like 35 letters long, and I just look at them, and being a New Yorker and having a lot of Indian friends, I've gotten really good at pronouncing their names. Yeah. And they're very surprised when I look at it and then I go, Shiva Ramakrishnan, and they're like, yes, that's very good.
Yeah.
I want to talk really quick about just customer service meltdowns. Usually I would be the person melting down. I remember I was on with, I don't remember what country it was from. Maybe it was one of the African countries, outsourced customer service for some tech issue I was having. And they kept calling me Mr. David, Mr. David, over and over and over again. And the longer the call went that did not handle my issue because they didn't seem to understand my issue, the angrier I got that they were calling me Mr. David. Yeah. And, you're so right, Joel, when you talk about different cultures in different countries, and the moment I hear like I'm okay with many accents. So, being a New Yorker, I've had friends from all over the world, but sometimes it just is so thick that you can't understand it. And I always say, can you please give me US tech support? If it's a big enough company, they have it. They fight you a little, but they will send you to it. Fortunately, here in Utah, we have more call centers than anywhere else in the world because there's no accent here. Yeah. People in Utah just don't have an accent. So, but when I get to the point where I do need a call center, Joel, you'll be my first call.
I know that lots of times that's the first thing that we look at is accents. It's like, can you carry on a conversation and can you follow the conversation? Yeah. And so every time we hire someone, we have a meeting. We actually have 2 meetings with them. One for me because I'm younger and I can just weed people out like that. But the second one, Janine's a little bit older, and so if she has trouble with the accent, they're gone too. And so if I barely understand them, they're gone. They like or we try and coach them into that. But if Janine can't understand them, that's another red flag. It's like, okay, are they understanding what we're saying? Because like we have one person, I can't believe he's not American. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal, and he's so good. And we got so blessed with him.
I feel bad with the conversation because it's like it seems like you're not embracing diversity, but there's a line between the diversity side and embracing that and actually being able to do your job. Because if you can't communicate with the customer, you can't solve problems.
What Joel left out What Joel left out is he also wants to know what hockey team they root for.
Yes. Yeah. If you root
It's not
for
a Canadian team, if it's not a Canadian team, they won't hire them. So
if you root for anyone like the New York Rangers or the Boston Bruins or something like that, I'm sorry, we don't serve you. We don't serve your kind here.
So bad.
Yeah,
So,
sorry.
our other Joel, did you have any questions you wanted to bring to?
Well, I think, for me, first of all, I'm a horrible customer. So when I call customer service, I'm generally a very poignant conversation. And so, it requires a certain temperament on the other side. But I think what really fuels the fire is when they don't have a process for discovering an answer.
Yeah.
So you might be saying, it would be really great if we could do this. And then they really don't have a process for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we get into a tech issue or a product issue, generally there's a stall in the customer service conversation, because really customer service is about solving problems.
Yeah.
Right. And so if customer service is about solving problems, then those people have to be equipped to know what the process is for solving those problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the immediate response, right? So there should be a process and an immediate response mechanism that brings the customer into a level of comfort in working with you. So and that's just me being a novice in the whole customer service process, but just being a bad customer. So, as I bring that to the table, I guess my question for you is, at what point as a company do you see most of your customers jumping in? Is it a call volume level? Is it a sales volume level? What's your experience with?
So we have both that come in with call volume and sales volume. Mostly it's a call volume. Once they because generally when some people see the sales go up, they're like, okay, we need to do something, or we're going to get overwhelmed. Those are the people that generally that are thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. Most entrepreneurs are in survival mode. I hate saying that, but it's the truth. Most are like, oh my goodness, I don't have the money for this. I don't have the money for that. And it's like, and then when they get overwhelmed, they get overwhelmed because they're staying at work till midnight, trying to get their work done. They're answering emails all hours of the day. And at that point, it's like, I just want my life back. And I'm willing to I need great people for reputation, but I just want my life back. And that's generally when we see them coming in. Is people
Desperation.
It's desperation. And that's when someone like me or my partner are like, okay, do you know what? You're great, actually. If we make these small adjustments, then we can actually really help you answer all of this stuff. And you don't need to stay. You can go home and be with your family. You can go to those soccer games that you're missing, those school recitals. It's really about giving people their life back, building their legacy, because kids are your legacy.
I love it, Joel. Thanks.
So then, do you, as a follow-up, do you assign people as kind of like a single person per account, or is it a rotating phone call?
So it really depends on what our client is looking for. Most of the time, we try and keep certain people on certain accounts. However, there's some cases, like if we had entrepreneurs coming in and being like, look, I just need to get this off my desk. Can you guys, I don't have enough for a full-time customer service team, but do you guys have someone that can do this? And so we'll be like, you know what, for a certain amount, we can take a look at how much you want. And then it's like, we'll take care of your customer service for you for basically pennies for the peace of mind. And it's like, it's really like, what is it? We don't have like a one way where it's like you're coming in, you're getting 3 agents for 40 hours a week. And it's like, no, what exactly do you need? And let's kind of walk you through what we can do for you to really bring the best solution for you. Because if you can do $500 a month for customer service, we'll find a solution that can do that. But it's not about us. Like, yes, we want to make money. Don't get me wrong. I love making money. It's great when I'm making ends meet, it's fantastic. But at the core of it, it's like, where are you hurting and how can we help? And so if it's like 30 emails a month, we will find a way to help you. That's what our core values are.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think, having some scalability is so important for the entrepreneur to be able to say, I just need someone I can grow with.
Yeah. Like we're looking at we're looking at starting a like Shopify e-commerce group where they pay a certain amount and they get a group of 5 agents that know Shopify well, and they once they've got those manuals, they pull up the manual and are able to help the clients. And so what you're doing is you're getting 5 agents for like $500 kind of thing. And so we're looking at the possibility of doing that right now. We don't have that set up yet, but that's probably going to be in our near future. Once we get like 1 or 2 more clients for.
Joel, is that only going to be Shopify, or is that going to be WooCommerce and Etsy and all the others?
Well, it depends. It depends on what people want. Like if it starts off, if we don't get enough Shopify, we might just put all e-commerce together. But the thing is, if you can do Shopify, you've got a specialty in that category, and at least they know how my store works. Mm-hmm. And they can start working that way. But if there's WooCommerce and stuff like that wants, we can look at the possibility of doing that. Really, in order to kind of really walk this through, we need a few people working together, kind of thing. But at that point, we're still playing around with what that takes. So
yeah, I wish Etsy would outsource to you, because although I like Etsy for a lot of things, I gotta say, of all the companies I have dealt with in my life, from a professional standpoint, Etsy's customer service is by far the worst.
I'm just going to write that down here. I'm going to take that lead and see where I can find.
However, their art community is the best. I mean,
yes.
You'll have a question and they'll just sit there, and Etsy just to even get to them is like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
But if you put it into the community, you'll get 40 answers. Some of them are kind of snarky from like the senior people that have been there for, a decade or more, but most of them are really helpful. So I guess Etsy kind of outsources their own customer service to all of the artists that are on their site, because they know they're going to do it. So
yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, let's see what we can do. If you've got a couple people that use WooCommerce, Oz, have book a meeting with me. Let's have a conversation, because that's something that we can do.
Okay. Well, that'll be down the road, a conversation with me and someone else who loves me, who I won't mention her name.
Well, so I'm loving this conversation on customer service. It's something that we tend not to think about until it's too late, right? And by that time, you've ruined your reputation, your clients are leaving, and you're like, what happened? So putting those systems in place are great. We love that we have a go-to person on the marketing team here to give a hand with that. Woo woo. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today, Joel. And I'm all excited about this. And so it sounds like we have a cool project coming up, thinking about how do we want to do customer service for e-commerce. So this might be an interesting, if this is something you want to get involved in, reach out to Joel and have a conversation with them. Let's scroll his contact information one more time so that we can make sure that everybody knows how to get in touch with you. So your website again, Joel, say it out loud.
LegacyInnovatives.com. And
awesome.
Then if you want my email, it's basically joel@legacyinnovatives.com, and that'll get to me too. So you're welcome to. I had already taken my presentation out, or else I'd put it back on the screen for you. But
there it is. That's how you get a hold of him. We're looking forward to hearing more about those projects you're working on. Keep us updated. This way we can let everybody know what's available.
Absolutely.
And today is our Tuesday Masterclass. Tomorrow is our networking for marketers. So if you're a marketer and you're tired of being a solopreneur, come hang out with us, get to know us, and we'll work together. Fun group, and we're a fun team. So come back next week. See us on Tuesday again for the next week's Masterclass, and come see us on Wednesdays for networking. Thanks, y'all.
Have a good one.
Hey, guys.